Hello, me.
Hello, teacher.
How are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Good. Where are you based?
I'm from Myanmar, but
From Me
currently from Myanmar.
from Myanmar. Oh my goodness. Okay. So is it like the middle of the night for you?
Yes, currently I'm in Thailand, teacher. I'm in Thailand.
Ah, you're in Thailand now. Okay. Right.
It's
One
8 p.m.
8 p.m.
now.
Okay, that's not too bad, but that's
Yes.
still it's still quite a late finish, isn't it? Yeah, I can imagine. Yes, I think with our for me it's 10 a.m. And hello, Fifian, how are you doing?
Hi,
Nice to see you.
things are fine here.
Good, good. Um, so yes, so yeah, so 8 p.m. ending at 11 is quite late. Good. So maybe while the others are joining us, you could start to tell me, do you remember I gave you a very the assignment for today was to think about who you're writing for. Do you remember? I asked you to think about that. You didn't have to write anything. You just had to think about it. Like, who is your case study going to be for? Who is going to be your audience? Hello, Nukila. Nice to see you.
Hi, Joanna. Hi, everyone.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm going to turn my video. Okay.
Lovely. Would anyone like to share who they think their audience is?
May I, teacher?
Please.
I think my audience are going to be the teacher and the friend in FIMI team. And
Yes.
next are the people in my community.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing is that if I write in English, some of the people they might not be able to read because they don't know how to read English.
Mm.
And another, it can also be my friends who working together with me, my colleagues.
Mm-hmm.
And it can also be the one who are working for the Indigenous women, so care, the
Yes.
organization, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
CBO in my community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if they get than that, if more than that, it can be like the one who are working together with FIMI, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what
And
I can think.
that's a big group of people, but I want you, for the sake of writing the case study, because I think it's going to help you focus, I want you to think of like one person. I want you to think of one person with a name, because I think that's going to help you to think. But it's a very good point that you made about that they won't necessarily be able to read English. But remember that these days, I mean, if you write something in English is the most universally recognized language. And if you write something in English, it can always be translated back into your native language. And and on Tuesday, I'm going to share with you some tools such as DeepL, I mean, like translation tools, writing tools, some technology, so that you, for example, you could finish doing your case study and then one of your friends say, oh, I would really like to read it, but my English is horrible. And you say, don't worry, I'm going to translate it for you. And then you would do that. Because I think it's important. I think this was Fatima who said this on Tuesday, that she felt a bit overwhelmed by by this task. And so I think it's important to kind of divide it up. And so if you I mean, like one of the first things you say was, this is going to be a problem writing it in English. And so if you can say, okay, it's not going to be such a problem because I finish my case study and then I'll translate it. And then my colleagues can read it and I can share it with my peers and I can get their feedback that obviously you value, which is a good thing. Great. Thank you, Mi. Anyone else like to share who is their audience, who they have in mind when they're writing? Fee, go ahead.
So for me, I'm targeting so many audiences, but like you said, I only mention one.
Excellent.
So I think it is my organization.
Great. Okay.
Because
And Fee, anyone in particular in your organization? Like, because I want you to visualize, remember when I told you that Warren Buffett writes for his sister? I want you to visualize in your mind a person. Is there somebody who you feel that you particularly value in your organization or that you want to, you really, maybe the person who inspired you to sign up for this course?
Yeah, Lucy Mulenke.
Excellent. She has a name. That is wonderful. So Mi, if you can start thinking of a name, I think you're going to find that very helpful. So every time you get stuck writing the case study, I want you to obviously refer back to the resources that I'm going to give you, but also to think, what would Lucy want to know here? Or if I were sitting down chatting with Lucy, how would I explain this to her? Okay, I'm going to put that. Because I think any time that we can give it, can imagine a person, imagine that we are communicating something to a person, we're going to feel a little more comfortable. Great, wonderful, Fee, thank you. And anything else? No, okay.
Yeah, Joanna.
Yes,
Yeah,
Nukila, what about you?
I would like to for my target audience, of course, for sure, for the indigenous women, yeah, in or college, in organization, local NGOs, indigenous people's organization. But during my writing, I would like to share with my colleagues because she's my mentor as well, and then help me a lot on develop the methodology, theory, framework, reference that I'm struggling with reference because she's from the mix of academics, scholar activist, so it's very useful for me because she's from because I am very good on the field, on the case studies, but my friend will be help me a lot on the on the scholar issues.
On the scholarly side, she's more
Right, yeah.
she's
more
more
academic.
she has more academic
Yeah.
experience than you.
Yes.
It's great to have that friend. Okay, fantastic. And she has a name?
Rina, yeah, Rina Sharula.
Rina.
Sharula.
Good. Okay. And Mi has come up with one of her colleagues as well. So who she's also identified. That is wonderful. So you've all three managed to identify and you're already thinking of writing for that particular person, because anytime that we can communicate our message to one person, we can communicate it to 100. All we have to do is to think of it, to start thinking of one person. And I think this is going to help everyone to feel a little less overwhelmed with this task. Okay, well, I can see that Friday is maybe a tricky day to give a course. And probably for a lot of you, it's Friday evening, even trickier. So I'm assuming that some of your the fellow students, look, a couple more are joining now, and I think Angela is also joining. Or maybe we have a different tutor today. Okay, look, several people are joining. That's fantastic. Excellent. Good. So glad to hear that, to see that. So we've just been joined by Nai, Naina, Fatima, and Lorena, I'm assuming, is the tutor, for your tutor for today. So Fatima, Nai, and Naina, and Daisy too, who's also joining. We were just sharing who we are writing for, who is going to be our audience. And so if anybody would like to, any one of you who've just joined would like to share with us if you've identified a person who you're writing for. Fi, Nukila, and me have just identified. Fi has identified one of somebody else from her community, and no, Fi has identified somebody else from her organization. Me has identified someone of her community, and Nukila, somebody who's a bit more academic than she is, who's going to help her with the references in particular. Naina, would you like to share with us who you thought of?
Yeah. I thought my husband is my audience, a reader, because he is also working to the indigenous people.
Is he? He's also working with you. Okay, fantastic.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just going to clarify. Ah, no, Lorena's left. Yeah, Lorena joined us and she should be in the other group. Hello, Angela. Nice to see you. So your husband, okay, that's unusual. And I mean, because sometimes it is difficult. I mean, I will just say this is a general rule that sometimes it can be difficult for, if you're like, if you know someone very well, that like, I mean, it's like a little bit like your husband teaching you to drive. It doesn't always work perfectly because, but maybe you need to find someone who's not just your husband. But if your husband is a good reader and he gives you good feedback, then go for it. Good. Okay. So, okay. Anyone else like to share? Lorena, Ángela, ¿le puede avisar a Lorena que tal vez esté en el grupo equivocado? Que tal vez tiene que estar en el otro grupo de, no sé, para mí ella tiene que estar en el grupo de Carolina, ¿o no? Gracias. Ahí se fue. Okay, I think we had somebody who was in who was coming from the Spanish speaking group. Good. Anyone else? Fatima, Daisy, or Nai, would you like to share who you thought of? Nai, let's hear from you.
All right, me.
Good morning, good evening. For me, I believe that in this, I work with an NGO that work with an indigenous is an indigenous organization, but it's a forum. So it has other members organization within it. So it has about 53 members organization. So those all will be my peers because they will be reading
but
what
who
I
want
if
you
it is easy to access them.
To pinpoint one person. I think it's helpful to pinpoint one person. Because when we think of you have the one person in mind?
Yes.
Excellent. Excellent. That's all I want. That's all I want. And remember, when you're writing and when you get
I have a role model in research.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, I was saying I have a role model in fact finding. He's a man.
Okay.
And he works with IPs. And today I was with him also sharing the whole process and how I'm starting to write.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So do you want the name exactly?
No. I want you to have the name. You need the name in your head. I don't need the name in my head. I'm just happy that you found that person to write for. Excellent. Fantastic. Good. Who else would like to share? I see Daisy, Esther, and Fatima have just joined us.
All right, I'm going to share.
Esther, you go ahead. Esther, we're getting a bit of background noise. Okay. You tell us quickly, otherwise we'll have to move on. Okay. Somebody else, Daisy, Fatima, and we have somebody new joining us, and Ananya.
All right, can I share?
Fatima, please go ahead.
Yes, I have one of my aunts that she's also working with the Indigenous, so I'll write to her.
And so you find her, and she gives you good feedback. Excellent.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
Very
yes,
good. Well,
yes.
Fatima, I was going back to something that you mentioned that I think is very valuable for everyone. It's a learning
right.
for everyone on Tuesday, that you said that you feel a bit overwhelmed when it comes to writing. So when you're writing, I mean, I'm going to give you a lot of tools. Today we're going to look not so much at the model of the case study, but on Tuesday in our last session we're going to see a lot of models, and I'm going to give you a lot of technical tools, and I think I'm going to give you some really valuable instruments to be able to write. But if you get overwhelmed, I want you to ask yourself, well, what would this person, what would I tell this person? Like, and if you can tell your story to that person, you're going to be able to write it down for us. Okay, good.
All right, thank you,
thank you, Fatima.
Thank you.
Okay, and Daisy, maybe?
Yeah, thank you very much. For me, I have two people in mind.
Ooh.
One is a lady in my community who once did research and underwent a lot, but she conquered. Her name is Cheruto. And second is Lucy Mulenkei. I know you could know her. She's worked so much with Indigenous people. I'll be glad if she will read. Like, I have those two in mind. Thank you.
Excellent. So you got these two people in mind, and will they have like different perspectives maybe as well? So that's also useful. Excellent. Good. And Dom Anne, would you like to share with us who you will be thinking of when you're writing up your case study? You're on mute. Well, do you want to put it in the chat if you can't unmute? It's difficult to do it when you're when you're on your mobile phone. Maybe it's harder. Pop it in the chat. That's fine. Good. Ladies, I think we should move on. Nai, you have something to say, please.
I wanted just to ask a question. Does it mean that this will bond us from not getting from you, or it's just people that we may be close to that understand us, or what do you really need us to have someone that we look up on?
No, I'm just trying to give you both very practical tools and also as it were, mental tools to help you write. And one of a tool can be, I mean, sometimes when we think I'm going to write up this case study, and for example, me started by saying, you know, she's going to send it out to the world. And that is what can be a little bit overwhelming. It can be a little bit much when we think it's going to go out to everyone. I mean, great if it goes out to everyone, but while you're in the writing process, is a delicate process. It's not an easy thing to do, to write up something, even for someone who does it the whole time. And for you, who this is your, you shared with me that this is your first experience. I'm just saying, be kind with yourselves. That's all I'm saying. Like, preserve your space. You know what, like when we grow a plant, We have to look after it. It has to be, you know, not get the wind, not get the light. We give it water every day. And writing is the same thing. So I want you to preserve that writing space and think of that one person who you do feel comfortable with, who you do trust. Because if we say, oh, I'm going to write this for the world, then maybe, you know, day 3, you're thinking, I can't do this, I'm going to give up. And we don't want you to give up. Does that answer your question, Nai?
Yes, yes, thank you.
It does? Good. But a very good question. Excellent question. But in no way does it mean that you're not going to show it to the world. You are going to show it to the world, but we are doing the baby steps without showing it to the world. Good. Okay. Let us move on then. I'm going to share with you what we're going to be doing today. This is the second part of this course. I think we only have one new face. So we've already been discussing in our minds who we are writing for. So Esther, maybe you can pop that in the chat. And Ananya can also pop that in the chat if you want to think, or if you want to think about it for next week, you can tell us. As I hope you were able to watch the recording, which I think is up on the campus already, of the first session. So this is a screenshot of the campus because I had put a pre-work task up there. And I realized that I don't think I had mentioned it on Tuesday, mainly because the FIMI organizers said that you all had a lot to do, so we can't ask you for too many things for the moment. So this pre-work task, as you can see, task number 1, I would like to ask you to do it because it goes towards your evaluation. You will have a short exam after we finish, and attending the course and doing the pre-work, participating in class and doing the exam, as well as submitting this task, it goes towards your general evaluation. So if you could use this, I think work on this. Try to get it to me by Friday, March the 8th. You can put it back in the campus. You can put it back up there. If you can't get it to me by then, please send a message on the campus and say, Joanna, I will get it to you by, you know, whenever you think you can get it to me. Okay, so that I know that you're going to be doing it. But I've given you an extra week for that. Okay, so I have one of the things that you asked me for on Tuesday in our first session was, you said you feel a little bit lost with the case study. So I have created a very simple template and I have sent it to the FIMI organizers, the IIWF organizers, and it will be up later today with our material. So you're going to have that template to follow. On Tuesday, one of the things that I'm going to show you is how that template models out in an actual case study. So I'm going to give you an example of that. That's what we're going to start with on Tuesday. And we're also going to look at those challenges that you all told me about. And as I say, we're going to look at an example of a case study in detail. I think you're going to find this very, very helpful. And this will give you practical tools to approach your case study. We need in life, and with the case study, we need mental tools. There's the positive visualization, the visualization tools that I say I want you to think about who you're writing for. And we also need practical tools, which is what we're doing. Okay? So everyone with me so far? If you have a question, those of you who may be new, you may raise your hand or write in the chat. So today we are going to be looking at two important aspects of writing, where I have seen that in the past case studies have some problem. Obviously with you, I haven't seen any of your work, so it's hard for me to know exactly what problems you have. So the first thing that we're going to be looking in the first block today is punctuation. And you should have been able to download from the campus. If not, please do it while I'm talking. The handout for today, which is handout for session 2, block 1. It says PowerPoints 3 and 4, which may be a tiny bit confusing, but it's up there. So meanwhile, I'm going to talk about punctuation. Why is punctuation important for anyone who's writing? Punctuation fixes meaning. It can change the meaning for good or for bad, but basically it fixes meaning, which is why it's very important when we are writing. So let me show you some examples. At the moment, this example, mother to be attacked on wasteland, it's kind of like somebody is going to be attacked. I don't really understand what it means. And the second one is also a bit confusing. Never mind people who dislike cats are in a minority, doesn't really mean anything. But if we add punctuation, we know that we were talking about a mother to be who was attacked on the wasteland. And never mind, it's kind of like some advice. People who dislike cats are in a minority. So here it's kind of like advice. This could also have been a comma. But adding punctuation fixes the meaning and means that people can read and understand at first glance. And remember that this is something that we said is very important. I think people will actually take the time to read your case studies more than once, but it's important to try to write giving the message so that people can understand something the first time you say it, not that they have to sort of go back and look into it and reread it. So if we, this one there, we have all women here. So this is an easy one. Anyone have any suggestions about this one? How could we punctuate this? Could we add a comma?
With comma on the top.
Where,
Like
Nukila, where would you put a comma?
a woman.
Woman, comma. Without her man is nothing. Okay. Any ideas? Any other ideas? Okay, let's see what okay, this is the one that I put. This is strong. I know this is strong. I know this is strong, but I think we're a strong woman. I think some of us may believe this. Anyway, it's just okay. And here's another one that also, so if we say let's eat Granny, we're like, no, don't eat Granny. But let's eat Granny as we're all going to share an ice cream. Okay, so you can see that punctuation can change the meaning. So we have to be very careful when we punctuate. So let us look. We're going to go through some guidelines of the most important punctuation marks and some common errors. We're going to practice them. It's always important to practice any theory that we learn, because practicing is the way that we internalize what we've learned. If we don't practice, it's just like, oh, something the teacher said. It's like, it's not going to stay with us. And everything that I'm going to teach you in these 3 sessions is, the idea is that I hope it will stay with you. So the full stop, or in the US, as it's called, the period, It shows where the sentence ends. It should be the most common mark on the page. Remember when on Tuesday, we practiced writing short sentences. So we definitely want it to be the most common mark. And this is, in English, we don't need headings, or titles, do not need a final full stop. And in fact, it looks cleaner. We're also the modern tendency, like after this, we do not need a full stop. The modern tendency is to get rid of any unnecessary punctuation, as we will see. It's like in the old days, maybe some of you were taught that you must have a full stop or something at the end of a heading, but these days it's not necessary. So their use, again, something that has changed. This, I would say, has changed within my lifetime. My mother used to be a secretary, and she still puts 2 spaces after a full stop. But now it's just 1 space. And this was because people used to write on typewriters. Maybe some of you, I don't think so, you're all very young, but maybe some of you have seen people writing on typewriters. And they used to write with 2 spaces. Okay, so the full stop with titles. This is a little bit different in the US and in Britain. Britain, as it has kind of cleaned it up and gone without the full stops. In the US, it still prefers it. I'm not going to make a big, I don't think it's going to be a big problem for your case studies. The only thing that is important is that you are consistent. And for that, I'm going to help you with make your own personalized style guide. If you decide to go with like full stops after, say, someone's title, then you must go with that all the way through your case study. You don't want to chop and change, because that's what makes it confusing and distracting for anyone who's reading it. These ones, for example, if we say the IWWF, these are just initialisms, the first part of that, and these don't normally require full stops either, although AM and PM do. With abbreviations, we, generally in the US, again, they still want this kind of full stop. Like if we talk about a country, we say US. In the US, they still want the full stops there, but in the UK, they don't. And so I don't really think it's totally necessary. So moving on to the comma. Now, the comma can be one of the trickiest punctuation marks and can cause quite a lot of trouble. Generally, when people use it a bit too much, which is something I have seen in those case studies. So one of the important things is not to interrupt an instruction with a comma. There is no comma there. It should just flow straight through. Please advise us. And also don't interrupt, no comma between a subject and a verb and an object. So here, the argument that the defendant committed arson, comma, is not supported by case law. That's incorrect. We do not need a comma here, because this is the whole first part of the sentence, and you do not want to interrupt the verb with in the second part of the sentence. And we can actually change this round and get rid of the comma. And this was one that I found, this is a long sentence. This was an example from the case study. And again, this does not need the comma there, which is why I've highlighted it in red. We would have to find some other way of shortening this sentence. And I think maybe we'll come back to that at some other point. But the verb is attests. And so all those people attest to the veracity of the aforementioned statements. We can't interrupt that with the comma. And this was another one that I found in the other, in another statement. This is again, this Kenya is the subject, has is the verb. And so no comma, no comma. We just have Kenya has. So don't use a comma to join two clauses. Not Van Gogh was penniless, his paintings had no value, but you can use a semicolon, or you can add an and as well. Or you could just have actually no comma and just and. That would also work. And this is what I saw sometimes, that you are using a few too many, well, not you, but in the 2 case studies that I examined, I saw that sometimes there were too many commas. So I think this is a very common error when people put too many commas in. And so you here, if I say this, you end up with something very, very kind of jerky and uncomfortable to read. You say, I have tried on a number of occasions to contact you at your office without success, and now resort to writing to you, as these items should be dealt with urgently. So are there any of those commas that we think we could delete? Any of those could go? I think we could.
After office, no
After
comma.
the office, yes,
comma.
no comma. Absolutely. Good. And then maybe any others. Doman, you want to get rid of one too?
Yes.
Mm.
The comma between, I think I missed that one. The comma between office and without, and now without.
And very good. And this one as well, it can
After
go
resort.
because excellent. Resort to writing to you is
I think
all
we
really
can
one.
take out all the commas.
Well, I think you could leave the last one, because the
Is it
last
possible?
one is like
Is
a
it
bit of
correct?
an it's correct, because it's like an add-on. It's like an additional. It's like a separate clause. So as these items should be dealt with urgently, it's like separate information. It's like a sort of an add-on that we put onto the rest of the important information. But excellent. Yeah, we can certainly get rid of those first two. Not the first. Yeah, the first two.
The last one should remain.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Great. Okay, so, and this is what I see all the in both case studies, people love to do. This is kind of very typical of more formal writing, like in principle, or we say something like in general, or furthermore, moreover, any of those introductory words. Then they can take a comma. They don't absolutely have to have a comma, but it makes it a little more formal. And a case study is formal writing. There is no doubt about that. Absolutely. Good. So here, these were the examples that I found, but some, like this one, I think is absolutely fine. Hence, I've ticked it. Won't I? Yes, I've ticked it. And but this one doesn't work with a comma, because like, even though some and I'm nervous of mispronouncing, some few Mbororo women are educated, so here it doesn't make sense with a comma. If it were however, it would be fine. However always takes it. If it were however, comma, that would be fine, but the even though doesn't take a comma. So this was one where we wouldn't have added a comma. Okay. And then we can use 2 commas to separate information that isn't absolutely crucial to the rest of the sentence. So for example, here we could say the car ran the red light. That still makes sense. But the car, which is blue, we put it in commas because it's extra information. But here you don't need that. That's fine. Okay. And this is, well, restrictive and non-restrictive clauses. I'm not too worried about this. I didn't find any examples in the, I mean, this is kind of like what takes a comma and what doesn't. When you use it's whether the information again is essential to the meaning of the sentence or not. So we know that the cathedral needs to be repaired. That makes sense. Obviously this is additional information which is useful, but it's not absolutely essential. And this one also is like that. I'm not too worried about this with you. And then in this one, you do need the information. Because otherwise it doesn't make sense otherwise. Okay. You can also, as we've seen in one of the earlier examples, use a comma to join two long independent clauses, for example, with and, but, and yes. So you can use a comma and then one of those. And then in British English, we still use a comma for a business. This is just like useful information. Obviously, a case study is different, but in the US, you will see the colon. Okay, in dates, you do need to be consistent. This is fine, but you do need, if you're writing a date like this in the style that is outside the US, you do need a comma there because otherwise it's just impossible to read, really. Because otherwise you've got December 30, 2020 all together, and it's just like number. I'm not getting it. So you need that comma there. And commas are also very useful to separate 3 or more items in a list. So here I've given you an example. The utility reports on daily and monthly water quality, water usage and storage, and overflows and bypasses. And you will see that some people will put an extra comma here for clarity. It's called the serial or Oxford comma. But I'm not saying that this is a big problem, but you can see revenue rulings, business rulings, and then these two are going together, and technical and procedural instructions. So there's 3 items there. Okay, so this brings us to exercise 1. Has everyone managed to download the handout? Yes, you have? Fantastic. I'm going to jump out then. I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to facilitate so that you can share your screens, so that when one of you goes, so that when I put you into the breakout rooms, then one of you, I would encourage you to all do the exercise. This is exercise 1 on page 1 of the first handout today. And I think let's see if we got enough room for, if we have 2 or 3. I think we can do 3 breakout rooms today. Yep. We can definitely do 3. Fantastic. Okay. So I'm going to give you, so what you will have to do here, you don't have to rewrite anything, as this is a Word document, you can just write on it, and you can just put a cross or a tick beside the answer that you think is correct. Okay, so this is no, and then in 3 and 4, you're going to add or a comma where you think it could be appropriate. All right, so I'm going to give you just over 5 minutes to do this exercise. I don't think it's going to take you that long. Okay, off you go then. I'll see you back in 5 minutes.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Hi, please,
Hi.
can you send please, can you send the questions in the group chat?
Which question?
What we are going to do?
I heard teacher said to take, but I don't know where. Which one? This one?
Pardon?
Anyone?
Hello?
Where is it? Hello? Hello?
Yes.
What is that? In the model? And sometimes cannot open in there. I need to use something like that. We can.
Do you people have the
Question.
question or the question inside the Hannah? Is that one that they say question 6, exercise 6, or is which one, so that I can send it in the group chat for us to do it? Hello?
I'm not sure which one. I'm not sure which one.
Please, what my network was unstable. Please, what did they ask us to do?
Teacher.
Pardon?
Hello, hello. I'm not sure what we
Yeah.
got to do. Sorry. Uh, how can we ask the teacher? But you can ask for help.
I've seen, so I don't know, and it seems like we are only the 4 of us in the participant group.
I think we can ask the teacher. Where can we ask the teacher? Ask for help.
That is the problem. Now that we are not in the message, now they've divided us to those rooms, so I don't know.
Maybe question in our module.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes. Maybe question in our module, like
Oh. Which one?
Please, please.
Hello. How can we ask for the teacher? Hello, teacher. Sorry.
I'm mute, aren't I? Tell me,
Oh,
what's the
there.
problem?
We don't know what we get to do.
You need to correct this and this first exercise. Did you manage did you manage to download it from the campus?
I'm not sure, just sometimes I cannot like open in there. I have to use my phone or something like that too.
Wait a minute. I'm going to put it in the chat as well. And then I think you should be able to download it from there as well. Okay, let's go. I'll call everyone back and we'll see. Okay.
Thank you, teacher.
Teacher,
Okay, please, my network is unstable. Please, what did the teacher said?
The teacher said we have
it's
to
all in our module.
Pardon?
Can you, in our module, like there have some exercise. I put in chat.
Please all right, let me check. My network is not the best.
Yes, we cannot see. I cannot see.
Hello?
Yes, we can do that.
I've not seen the question. I don't know. My network is unstable, so I've sent someone in the chat, so I don't know if those are the questions. Like, if I may ask, what did the teacher say when she came into the group? Because my network.
Okay. Right. Some of you mentioned that you had some problem finding the handout on the campus. I think the campus is something that we have to get used to navigating. And so I have, just in case, I've just put I've posted the handout in the chat. So you should be able to download it from there as well. Okay. So yes. Which group? So Doman, Naina, and Nukila, did your group manage to do this?
Yes.
I
Yes,
think so.
okay.
I will share
Okay.
the screen and then
Please,
Naina or
please,
Florence will
please.
explain.
Please,
All
thank
right,
you.
I will share it. Wait a minute. Okay. Please go ahead,
Lovely.
Naina or Florence.
Okay, so so you've where you've put V, that's the one that you have chosen.
Yeah. V. Number one, C, V.
Okay,
Number two,
good. So
E.
no commas. It just
No
has to go
commas.
straight. Excellent.
Right.
And then
Number two, B.
You
Right.
like
Samantha,
good.
comma. Okay. Three. After importantly.
But more importantly, so okay.
Yeah. Number four. After tear up the plan. After the plans.
Tear up the plans, forget about the project and start again. Okay, and we would need, what else would we need in this sentence? Because you know, I have to keep you awake, not just a comma.
Okay.
What does the sentence need at the end? Both those.
Number four, number three.
Full stop. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah,
So we need full stops in 3 and 4. Lovely.
Yeah.
Okay. Fatima, the handout is now in the chat, so you should be able to download it there. Great. So thank you so much. And I'm going to continue then and show you my answers, which I'm
Thank
pretty
you
sure.
so much. Please, can you help and resend the handout because I've not seen it under the chat. My network is unstable.
Your network is very poor. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, let me let me stick that in. So this one I did a little, these ones I'm total agreement here. This one I did a little bit different. This will have an impact on inflation, comma, because you remember it's like we could put that comma before the but, so, and any of those joining words, you can put a comma before then. But more importantly, I'm not sure about yours. And then the consultant should tear up the pants. Then this one, we got exactly the same. We definitely coincided there. So very good. Excellent. Okay, so let me, before I continue, try and share again the handout. And there we go. Okay, I've shared it again, Fatima. Let me know if you can get it there. And if not, you know,
All right, thank you. Let me download
ladies,
it.
I mean, I don't know, Angela, maybe your tutor has encouraged you to make a WhatsApp group. Sometimes with some teaching that is very useful, and then you can share on WhatsApp. That can be a great thing to do, because that can be a very useful way. So maybe if someone can share with Fatima, if you have her WhatsApp.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you. No, thank you so much. I've seen it. I've downloaded the handout.
Now
Thank
you've
you.
managed to get it. Great.
Yeah,
Super.
thank you so much.
Okay.
Joanna,
And Ananya is saying my network is very poor as well. Yes. Okay. Ananya, have you managed to download it now? Let us know, please. Okay. So the colon is the next punctuation mark that is quite useful, especially for our case study. And it's kind of like a drum roll, you know, this is going to come, it's going to come. So the damages were staggering. 1,948,000 in medical bills. Fee, can I help you?
Yeah, I wanted an opportunity to share what we managed to do.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Fee, I'm going to tell you what, but because we're a little pressed for time,
Okay.
in the next exercise, I will let your group. I'll put you
Okay.
in the same groups, and then your group will share. Okay,
Okay.
Fee?
Okay.
If everyone will have a voice here, but I can't always. If we stop every time, it's going to make and I want to finish before 1:30 so that we get a break before moving on. Okay.
All right.
But it's a good thing to raise your hand. And so the colon, okay, has three main purposes. And we can use, this is how we use it a lot in this kind of academic writing, which is the case study. She brings a lot to the role of leader, colon, then a little list, which is divided up with commas. Lovely. Or you can use a vertical list. Remember when we looked at making our bullet points, and here you start your vertical list with the comma, with the colon. So that is very, very useful. And we can also use it in headlines, for example, like this. It can be useful, for example, even in a case study name, in some sort of academic title, you can use it like this, and that's quite effective. So one of the questions that always arises, do we use a capital letter after a colon? Yes, but you can use either a capital letter or not, but you must be consistent. This is very important. And again, this is something else that we're going to put in our style guide. So it has to be the same part of speech like this. And this was an example from one of the case studies that I looked at, and this is fine. Semicolon is the next one we're going to look at. Semicolon, people are often a little bit confused about when to use them. Here are two criteria that I think you're going to find helpful. The statements they can stand alone as separate sentences, but they're a little bit short. And so they are related. And so we join them with a semicolon. So for example, this sentence, the market strategy quantifies possible demand, semicolon, the penetration of that market is assessed over a long period. So here, like they will be too short if we did them separately, but we can't join them with a comma. As we've seen, that's not a good style, but we can join them with a semicolon. Now, I have a short video about the semicolon, but I think given that we are a little bit pressed for time, and I think it's more useful to do an exercise, I'm going to invite you to, at the end of these PowerPoints, there's the links, and you can find the links to the semicolon and some other actual videos about punctuation there as well. Semicolons are also extremely useful to join a longer transitional word. Therefore, however, furthermore, thus, indeed. And this is something definitely you're going to be using in your case studies. So, for example, here, the private tech company grew in the pandemic, semicolon, therefore, comma, the shareholders voted to make it public. That one. Okay. And with however as well, when you have however in the middle of a sentence as well. And here again, where they're very useful in a complicated list. So here you have, as for travel in the US, I visited New Orleans, Louisiana, which is, we know it's the state of Louisiana, Portland, Maine, it's like the state of Maine, and Boston, Massachusetts. So those are kind of like, they're divided up again by themselves with the semicolons, and that's a very useful thing to do. Brackets is the next punctuation mark in the US. They're called parentheses, and brackets can be very useful to again, a little bit, sometimes we use commas for this as well. They can set off some explanatory material. But remember, and this is key, that brackets will, there are two kind of rules about this. One, brackets de-emphasize the material. It's like they make it less important. And the other is that people often don't read what's in the brackets. So if information is important, don't put it in brackets. We do use, and this is particularly useful in the type of academic writing that you're doing in your case study, and I found this nice example, the African Commission on Human and People's Rights. And after that, we know that you're going to call this ACHPR. And from then on, you're just going to refer to it as ACHPR. But the first time that you mention this organization, you need to give its full name and then put the acronym inside the brackets. And then everyone will know what you're talking about. But I do recommend that you don't use brackets too much, because they're kind of like, there's a point when you're reading something and people put a lot of brackets, it kind of looks like somebody's been crossing something out. It's kind of like not appealing visually. It's not an attractive thing to look at. And your writing also needs to be attractive. Square brackets is when you're adding extra information. Dashes are also useful, as is the hyphen. And there are different types of dashes. We use dashes. We've already seen them when we had our examples, mother to be. This is with the hyphen. When we're joining words together, we use the hyphen. And often the spell check will correct this for you, or you can look it up. And here is kind of like a sort of, I've given you like a little kind of rule with the compounds and with the examples. And but it is interesting, in the English language is very flexible and it always changes. So for example, when we go from online, it merges to online. Email merges to email. And this is something kind of organic that happens in the English language. What is useful to bear in mind is that the different level of importance. If we use dashes, we're making information more important. It's highlighting the information. If we use commas to set off the information, it's the same level of importance. And if we use brackets, it is less important. It de-emphasizes information. So this is why I reiterate that using punctuation sets the meaning. If you want to tell something that something is more important than the information in the rest of that sentence, what are we going to use? We're going to use dashes. If you want to tell somebody that it's less important, we're going to use brackets. So this is a little chart that I created for you. So here in exercise 2, I've given you 2 sentences and you have to add all the punctuation, okay? So I'm going to jump out here and I am going to pop you back in the same breakout rooms so that then we can use, we can hear from a different group, probably group 2, fees group. And and I'm going to give you again just over 5 minutes to do this exercise in. Okay, off you go then.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Okay, this is the question. Who is going to be like, who is going to present for us so that the person can be writing it down? So we can see how to answer it. These are the questions I've sent in the group chat.
European oil companies are under pressure for environment forcing. We get to add the punctuation.
That's what I'm saying now. Who is going to? Who? So we can answer it.
Going to present.
I'm using my phone. I think me use
I can
her
present.
laptop.
I can present. Just add it.
Even me, I'm using my phone. That's why.
Yeah, no problem. I can present.
All right. So okay. Okay. Let's try to answer it to put all the punctuation because we have only 5 minutes.
Yeah. How can I download it? Oh, okay. So where should we add the punctuation?
European oil companies are under pressure from investors and environmentalists forcing several, including Shell, to announce net zero emission pledge.
So in the first sentence, what about full stop?
I was thinking about comma for the first one. European oil companies, comma, are under pressure from investors and environment.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I think between you mean that the companies and are, right?
Yes, the European oil companies, comma, are under pressure from investors.
So I'm not sure. Hi, who left? How many of us in here? I'm not
Pardon?
sure in can have comma or.
Then what do you think? Is it question mark, semicolon, comma, or what?
Wait. Where is it? Okay. Put this one there.
Have you gotten anything?
Me, I put in chat. You can
Yes.
find here because due to my
Yeah.
internet connection,
Okay, wait. European icon here under pressure.
New line. New line. New line.
Okay. Where
One.
do we want to add? Please.
3.5%.
I'm
New line.
not sure. Oh, you need to add it in here.
Just check the one in the chat group and see.
I will share the screen. Let me check. Here. This is what she asked. European companies are okay. And there are forcing several, including share, yeah. Environment, forcing several. Okay, we will just share this, right?
Just share because we are almost going back to the main group.
Do you want to make any change? Anyone?
That's why I said, please you will just present that other one, the one that she sent in the group, because we are already leaving the breakout rooms.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you too.
Okay. Let us hear from group 2 then. That was Esther, Daisy, Nai, and Fee. Whoa. Fantastic. Fi's ready. Excellent. Okay. Let's see. So how did you get on? European oil
So-
companies. Mm-hmm.
So we punctuated using 3 punctuation marks. We used comma.
Excellent. Mm-hmm.
We used comma, semicolon, and full stop.
Lovely. European oil
So,
company. Yeah, it's looking good.
so should I do it, or I just indicate where I put the punctuation?
Yes. I'm not sure about this one, Fee. The after including. I'm not sure about including because I think you're changing the meaning. I think you're stopping the flow.
Oh, okay.
Or forcing several. I think maybe because it's talking about forcing, it's kind of like omitting information, forcing several oil companies, including Shell. I think you often punctuation, if you're not sure about it, if you read it aloud, you'll hear where the punctuation needs to go.
Okay.
That's quite a useful technique. And so maybe you need that one, but good. Okay. Oil shares did that well. What about the second one? Oil shares did well last week.
Semicolon.
Or because afterwards we've got like a little lip. Yes, lovely. Because remember, our colon is our drum roll. It's like, ooh, what's coming? What's coming? What's coming? And then we get our lovely list. So always remember, our colon is our friend to act as the drum roll. Something's there, and then something's coming.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you remember the drum roll, then that's a good one. Lovely. I really like it. Great. Okay, super. Fee, can you jump out, please? And then I will continue. We're nearly coming to, we're just going to wrap up punctuation quickly, and then we're going to take a short break. Okay, everyone? So I know that it's a lot of things to concentrate on. So here we have, you see, do you remember? so I've done something slightly different. Environmentist, comma, forcing several, including shall. And so what have I done here by putting it in dashes? I've emphasized it, but comma would work just as well. Then it would be like the same level of information to announce net zero. Okay. And then this one, exactly the same as you. Fantastic. Good. So we're nearly there. Then the apostrophe, I didn't really see many problems with the apostrophe. You have to remember that an apostrophe is used in 2 occasions to show where something is missing. For example, here did not, it's the class of 1998, something like that. But do remember that you are writing in formal writing. And a case study is a type of academic writing, as you all know, and we do not use this type of abbreviation in formal writing. It's better to write out did not than to write didn't in the type of writing that you are doing. So this is something important to bear in mind. We do not use an apostrophe for a possessive, and you do not need this, but it's not a serious mistake either. I wouldn't give you a mark off ever for that. Where we do use an apostrophe is to show possession, the client's complaint. It's the complaint of the client, the patient's chart, the chart of the patient. And this is a very common thing in English to make the resolution, to make it a little bit shorter, literally. And when you ends in an S, you have the apostrophe for like the 3 inspectors, you have the apostrophe afterwards. But sometimes you will still see this, like St. James's Square, something like that. You can use both after the S. Z works just like S. You have the apostrophe after the Z. And there are some examples in the Chicago Manual of Style. So here I've given you like some miscellaneous ones, not apostrophe, exclamation mark, just the one, question mark, just the one. And if it's like a sort of polite, indirect question, you don't really need it. And capital letters. Now, capital letters are important because obviously, and you all know this, like a capital letter for a proper noun. So the days of the week, the months and nationalities all take capital letters. And so here we're not specifying which president it is, so it's no capital letter, but here we know which president it is, so it is a capital letter. And it's in the US, you will always find that they prefer capital letters. Like they will start, this is from the BBC. And so this is British, they won't put capital letters. It'll be like sentence case, but in the States, they'll always prefer capital letters. I don't really mind which you choose, but you must be consistent. And so this is, the basic rule that you have to choose one or the other. So as I say, this is sentence style, which is just caps for like after a colon and in these main proper nouns. But headline style, this is what the Americans will prefer. So these were some errors that I spotted in the case studies that I examined. So there was kind of like, sometimes it was with a capital M, sometimes it was without, and in both of the case studies. And then, for example, this was missing all caps. So it's important to remember that you're referring to groups of people, you're referring to organizations, and you must use a capital letter and be consistent in that. So it's always important to do that. So with this, we have one more exercise in which we have to capitalize. So I think that what might be useful, given that I don't want to run out of time today, is maybe that you do this as an individual assignment, and you can always post it. And we will now take our 10-minute break. Okay? Does that sound a good idea? So you can do this as an individual exercise and post it on the campus for me. All right? So I make it 20 past the hour exactly, and we will come back here at 1/2 past the hour. Okay? And do the second part. See you in 10 minutes. B, let's wait 1 minute for everyone to join, okay?
Okay.
You don't mind me calling you Fee, do you?
No, it's okay.
Is that what everyone calls you?
Most of the people call me Vivian. Vivian.
Vivian. Like
No,
Vivian.
but I
Okay.
like the way you call me.
Okay.
I like the P.
Oh, do you like it? It makes me think of. Yeah. Okay. Well, good. I'm
I like
happy. Okay. Okay. Well, that's lucky. That's
Yes.
very lucky. Okay, Vivian. Yes, because it's kind of similar. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. But just continue calling me Fee.
Okay, it's stuck now in my mind, so I don't think I
Yes.
can. I don't think I can change it. Okay, great. So let us continue then. We are going to leave punctuation. Obviously, if you have any queries, you're welcome to write to me on the campus about punctuation. But as the other topic that we are going to wrap up today is the topic of plain language, which we didn't quite finish on Tuesday. And we remember that plain language is about communicating clearly so that people can read and understand what we have written the first time that they read it. We didn't quite finish on Tuesday avoiding the negative. So we're going to start with that. And so that is actually from the exercise that we're going to look at today about this is in the handout from from Tuesday. So if you may need to go back to that. But if not, I'll post it in the chat again anyway. So why avoid the negative? I mean, you're going to tell me what's wrong with saying the negative. The point about the negative is that if we say something in the negative, it's like people have to mentally cancel it out and think of it in the positive. So it's not always a clear way of expressing ourselves. It can be useful because sometimes we can use it to define something, what something is not. For example, we could say, a case study is not a letter. It is not a report. It is not a memo. We can define what something is not by using the negative, and there are also negative constructions that are useful, but we don't want to abuse them either. Otherwise, our reader is going to get tired of them. So the idea is to, for example, this example, rather than saying someone has not attained the age of 18 or has not ceased, you could say it includes an adopted child who is age 17 or under or is in full-time education and training. And anytime we say what something is, that's going to be like a much clearer way of understanding it. So let me give you another example. We can also use only. That's a very useful way of reconverting the negative, rather than saying not more than one, vote for not more than one candidate, vote for one candidate only. That can be very handy. And we can also use a single word rather than using all of these with not. We can use a single word, which means exactly the same thing, but doesn't have the negative in it. Somebody has got, Fatima, I'm just going to mute you because otherwise we get feedback. And we also want to avoid
I'm sorry, just that my connection is very poor. It's coming on and off.
Don't worry, Fatima. Everything's recorded anyway, and you can always go back. But don't worry, I'm just muting you so that we don't get interference. Multiple negatives, what happens with multiple negatives is that they give the reader cognitive overload. If I say, I should not be surprised if delivery is not delayed by at least 2 weeks, the reader is thinking like, is it going to be delayed or not? We're getting to that situation where we might lose our reader and they're not sure what we're saying. And it can sound a little bit ironic as well. Again, irony is something that is not appropriate in an academic text. So we could say in these two other ways, which I think is going to be a lot clearer. And we can also look at, this can be handy, for example, I don't really think that this is super useful in your case study, but it could be useful at other moments in the transforming the negative into the positive. I don't have experience in that, but I do have experience in this. I don't have this, but I do have that. I don't have those taken to account, but I do. I'm more of a, maybe like the opposite. I don't like to take decisions. I seek consensus, and we can't meet that. Can we reschedule? So what I wanted to do is to these exercises, as I say, well, let me jump out. Because what I want you to do is to put these into the positive. So I'm going to stop sharing and I am going to pop in the, I think you already have this handout from Tuesday. It's the one that we used on Tuesday, but let me put it back in, particularly as there's at least one person who wasn't here on Tuesday. So you should now be able to access that. And you can see that this exercise is right at the end. It's on the second page, exercise 6, rewrite these sentences in the positive. So let's just do the first one together. The first one is, we can't do that. So how can we do that one? How could we rewrite that in the positive? Any ideas?
Let me
Rather
say
than
right,
say,
like,
mhm.
I would say like we are unable to do it.
Yeah, we are unable to do it for the moment. Maybe adding something like a qualifier so that we can say we are unable to do it for the moment. That would be a good idea. Excellent. I didn't actually get the name of the person there, but that definitely works. Good. So I'm going to pop you into 3 different groups now. And I'm just going to give you, I don't think this is going to take you too long. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to try and rewrite these sentences in the positive. If you get stuck, just carry on. Just like if there's one you think, oh, the one about taxes, I'm never going to do that one. Just carry on to page 6, to number 6. Okay? Don't worry too much. Don't stress too much about it. Right? Off you go then.
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Uh,
So you can you project it if you have it?
so I didn't find. I'm confused about the handout, which we need to do. Uh, can you share the screen? Because I'm using my mobile today, so it's difficult to share.
Okay, let me check.
Yeah, sure.
This one? This one?
I can't share a screen.
Can you see it?
We can. Yeah, sure. I can. I saw. So can you edit this? So I'll give the answer.
Actually, I can't edit, so I can only share there. But I
You
can.
can't edit. You can't write the answer.
Yeah, I can write. My computer has some problems, but I know I can write somewhere.
Yeah. We can't do that.
Can you do that? Can you do that?
Yeah, we can't do that. The positive is we can do that. Easy. That's impossible. Means
Okay.
that is
The
possible.
first one, what are we?
We can't do that. Means in positive we can do that.
Write the first one.
We can
Into
do that.
positive. I don't know. Are we two of us only, or someone else can hear us?
Sorry.
We can do that. Okay.
Yeah.
So the answer
That's
is we can do that.
Yeah, we can do that. And second, that's
second one?
impossible. That is possible.
That's possible.
Yeah.
I have
Our
a question.
budget- Yeah. Okay.
Is the teacher suggest us to write in positive way, or the negative sentence we can write it positively?
Yes,
There are
write
two
it
different.
positively.
That's we can't do that. That means we can do it. It's directly in positive.
Yeah. So we need to change. We need to write indirectly or on in different way.
It's supposed to continue sounding negative, but positive.
Yes.
I think just need to change in positive.
Yes, but she will continue sounding negative. So maybe when you say you can't do that, maybe you say, I don't know, but something negative on that, but positive. Yeah.
Maybe we can't do that in positive. We can explore alternative options. It sounds
Okay.
positive.
I was thinking of maybe we can perform. We can handle something of that.
Yeah,
That
we
is
can explore
possible.
alternative.
That is hard. That is impossible. That is hard. Or that is 1 minute left. Let's try to do quickly.
Yeah, given so
Our budget
that's
won't-
impossible in positive way. There are possibilities we can consider. We need to change.
Yeah. Okay, the third one is
And
our budget won't allow us to do that.
that our
We have
budget
budget
constraint
constraint.
requires us to find other solutions.
What?
Our budget constraint requires to us to find other solutions.
So we can say our budget won't allow. You said that our budget constraint
Requires us to find other solutions. Oh yeah, our time out.
Hey, I write in chat box because we have a short time, so I write it. You can check.
Okay. So let's hear from, I obviously put you in different groups this time. Let's hear from group one. That's Ananya, Nai, and Naina. You're all three of you together. Would one of you like to share? Naina? Can you share what you did?
Today I'm using my mobile, so my friend can share
No,
with.
you can't. No.
It's quite
What about
difficult.
Nai? I'm not Nai or Ananya. Okay. If not, let's jump to group two, where we got Daisy, Doman, and Fee. Who would
Okay. They can. Okay.
Fee? Brilliant. Ooh, lovely. I like those examples. You've done a great job. We're unable to do that. Okay, I would qualify that to soften it a little bit, like now or for the moment or this year or whatever.
Okay.
That's challenging. We have insufficient finances. That's prohibited. Yeah, we need to talk to the manager or something like that. It would, yep,
Okay.
okay, good. All right, let's do it right. I'm okay, lovely. Very nice work. Excellent. Okay, Fee, thank you.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
let us go then to the, let's share. I'll show you what I got, which is obviously going to be slightly different. This is what I got. These ones, like maybe in 3, and I'm going to show them side by side because I think it's easier for you to see the changes there. That's why I always try and show you everything side by side. And you see, so maybe we can look into it. Maybe we're pursuing a different strategy. Can we review that next year? You know, we may have to outsource that. That's not going to work for us. Is there any other way of doing the same thing? And then these other ones. Good. Okay. So one of the reason that I think it was an important topic to bring up the use of the negative is that in one of the case studies, in this one, there were a lot of this kind of construction, which is a very nice, very sophisticated sentence construction. And it was nicely done, but it was used a little too much. And so it was like in the case studies, this one was quite a long one. It was nearly 30 pages with photos. Next week, one of the questions you'd asked is like maximum and minimum length. And that's one of the things that I'm going to tell you about next Tuesday. But this one, it was like, I saw this construction 5 or 6 times, and that's too many. Maybe 1 or 2 in the document, but not, and because it does have like a good emphasis. The focus of this research is not just to do this, and sometimes we end it the other way around, like, but also to do this. This one ended with the education community will not be left out. But I felt it was like there were too many times when this construction was repeated. So we have to be careful to avoid repeating a sophisticated construction like this. Okay. So the next point that I want to get to, and with this, let me share again the handout for today, which of course you can find on the campus, but for convenience, I'm also popping it into the chat. And if there's any issues like with network, let me know and I'll stick it in again. And you were all very good at identifying what was in the active voice and what was not in the active voice. And why is it plain language prefers to use the active voice? Let us first do a quick definition of the active voice, though I'm very comfortable that you are familiar with it. The active voice says what the subject does. It's a big company. It employs 200 people. The subject does the acting. The employees lost their jobs. Here is the employees. And in the passive, we say what happens to the object. The papers were filed by the assistants. There, the object is acted upon. The employees were fired. Why does plain language prefer the active voice? Because the active always uses fewer words and it's more direct. But the passive does have its uses. For example, when the object is more important than the person performing the action. For example, the book launch was scheduled for February the 12th. There, we don't mind who decided it. We just want to know when it's going to happen. And so that's a good use of the passive voice. And you will, obviously, in your case studies, be using passive voice. And I'm not saying never use passive voice. I would never say that. But occasionally, you might think like, oh, you know, is this a good use of the passive voice or should I be using the active voice here? If the subject is unknown or deliberately not mentioned. The new movie was downloaded before the Oscars. It's like, we don't want to say who did that because it was obviously pirated. We want to always avoid ambiguity. Remember, we want to keep our reader with us. We want to keep our reader engaged and understanding. So using the active voice is a good way of doing that. The files must be kept up to date. Claims may be made within 30 days after a purchase. That one is, these are in the passive. We could rewrite them to say the assistant must keep the files up to date. And here also, it's clear whose job that is. We know the assistant has to do it. And in this case, customers may make claims for up to 30 days after purchase. We know it's the customers who are going to make the claims. So again, that's clarifying. We won the race, but you may not want to say when you lost the race, or when your team lost the race. So you say the race was lost, and then you're not specifying the subject. Good. So you should all have access then to the second handout of today. Well, and we here you have to change the passive to the active, but not always. Remember, sometimes if you don't think it's appropriate, then you're not going to, when in some of them it may not be appropriate. So let's try the first one together. Please be advised that our next meeting will be held on Tuesday, August the 13th. Can we rewrite that one to put it in the active?
Okay, can I try to change?
Go for it, Naina.
Yeah. The first one, maybe we will hold our next meeting on Tuesday, August 13th.
Lovely. We will hold our next meeting on Tuesday, August the 13th. Lovely. And we've introduced a person, haven't we? We will hold our next day, and it could be even something like, we would like to invite you. You're adding a person. Okay, lovely, great. Okay, very nice job. So I'm going to pop you back into, I'm going to stop sharing. And has everyone managed to download the handout? I'm going to pop you back in the breakout rooms. I'm going to put you in the same breakout room. And I'm going to give you over 5 minutes, like sort of closer to 6-7 minutes, okay? To do this activity in which you have to change the It's 5.2, 5.3, 5.4. Okay. I'll see you back just after the top of the hour.
Okay, let's try to do this again. Hello?
Hello.
Can
Did you
we,
hear me?
let's do this.
Yeah.
Can we, oh yeah.
Can you share the screen or I'll give answer?
Do you have it?
Yeah, I have done.
Okay.
But today I'm using my cell phone, so it's difficult to share the screen. So if someone able
Yeah,
to
I
share
can
the screen,
share,
I'll
but I
answer.
can't edit. I can share, but I can't edit. That's the problem. So let me just share,
Oh,
and then we continue reading.
yeah. And so I'm going to read.
Is this the one? Oh,
Yeah, we can discuss in a group. So I think the second, yeah, it's not that.
Hi, I have some network issue, so I
Yeah,
don't know you can hear me or not.
we can hear you.
we are here.
I'm trying to get the one that is supposed to be. Eh, Can you
And
read one question of it so that I see if I have it?
yeah, I'm going to read the first question. So
Okay.
please be advised that our next meeting will be held on Tuesday, August 13. This is the question, and we need to change in active voice.
Yeah, which is you already did it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. And second one,
So
can I read the second question?
is this the one that I've shared?
Yeah. Kindly be informed that the fire alarm will be tested tomorrow. And the answer is, we will test the fire alarm tomorrow.
The answer is?
Sorry?
The answer is?
I didn't understand.
You said the answer is?
Yeah.
I think so. I should just listen to you reading because I'm not sure of what I have here.
Did you solve the did you solve the second question?
Yes, I heard, like you said, kindly be informed that the firearm will be tested tomorrow. So we are changing this one. Is that so?
Yeah. And what's your answer?
The fire alarm will be tested tomorrow. Can you hear me?
Can I share my answer?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I said the fire alarm will be tested tomorrow. Okay, you can also share.
Yeah. We will test the fire alarm tomorrow. This is my answer.
Yeah. Okay.
And third one. Can you write the
Your
answer?
cooperation. What?
Did you write the answer of third question?
I've not written anything. I'm just reading it, and then we say I think so. You have written, you said you wrote it.
Yeah, I wrote it, but today I'm using my cell phone, so it's difficult to share my screen, but I wrote.
We can read it there, but anyway, we can also share because I can change here also.
Yeah, I can read.
Okay, the
Naina,
third one.
Yeah, I can read.
can you
I can read the answer.
answer in chat box?
Sorry?
Can you
Sorry,
share
Ananya?
all those answers in chat box?
Chat box? Okay, I'll try. Okay, I'll try. I'll try to share.
And the third one.
Give me some time. I'll share the answer.
Okay. Naina, can we share the third one? Hello? Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, I'm trying to share the answer. Give me some time.
Okay, the third one is the
Yeah,
following
I'll just take a
information is
picture.
needed.
Yeah, I'll just take a picture and share in the chat box.
It's okay. So, you know, we did not complete, we are in the third one. Can you hear me? Or you are still?
Oh my God, it's difficult to share, so I just flip my camera. Yeah, I'll show my screen. Can you see the screen?
Let's do just because we have them, so we can read and see if we can change anything or there is any additional.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So time is over, so I'll just read the answer.
Yeah, just read and then I can say if I have any addition on that, or she can say also, and then we have them consolidated in one.
If there's anything, please add.
Okay, so I was this. What did the answer of the, because we did 1 and 2. The third one is that I think so. The following information is needed in providing directory. I mean, not directly, directory. What was your response?
Yeah, please cooperate in providing the following information for the directory.
I've just realized that today we have everyone here, which is very nice. A full house. So I hadn't realized, Angela was explaining to me that when you start the day, we do the blessing. So and I know that today there was a little bit of a misunderstanding about that. So Tuesday, please go to the main Zoom, the one where they're speaking in Spanish. And when the blessing finishes, then come to me.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
I apologize for that misunderstanding. This is the first time that that they've had two parallel training sessions, so there was a little bit of room for confusion. Okay, so we already heard from group 2. I wonder if we can hear from group 3, which was Fatima, me, Nukila, and Esther. How did you get on with this exercise? Can you
share screen?
me? Great, thank you.
Here is
Good.
our answer, teacher. Here what we
Ver-
have discussed.
Yeah, this one is a tricky one. This one is a tricky one, isn't it? I mean, this one, there is an argument for leaving it, not changing it, isn't there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Here we have discussed for the first sentence we have two. We also like this one and this one. So
Yeah. Okay. And then the directory needs your cooperation. I like that. Very nice. Our team developed the new system. Perfect. Spot on. Fantastic. Good. Excellent. Very good work. Great. Me, do you want to jump out? Thank you. And then I can continue sharing screen. So here I'm going to show you what I have. So I still left in this one. I rather than I'll show you the before and after, and then it's a bit easier. You can see here that I just changed please note to kindly be informed, which is a little bit more old-fashioned. Please note is still very polite, but it's a little fresher than kindly be informed. But I left it in the passive voice because after all, we don't really mind who is testing them. We just want to know that they're going to be tested. And so it's not important to know who there. And then this one, I like your interpretation, very good, or please let me have. And then our team developed the new system, which was the same as the one your group got. Good. So the next topic I want to address today is avoiding hidden verbs. You may remember when we talked about, we changed it is possible to may, it is imperative to must. It was one of the first exercises that we did together. It is necessary, we changed it to needs. So anytime that we do all any kind of we're adding in a verb. Remember that we want to bring verbs into our writing to bring action into our writing, to bring movement into our writing. So we want to get rid of those be, have, make, those weak verbs and make strong words. So instead of what we'll often be able to see is that the strong verb might have been converted into a noun, such as we made the reservation for the conference room, and we can get rid of that make, that weak verb, and turn the noun back into a strong verb. We reserved the conference room. It's going to be much more powerful. We reserved the conference room. Obviously, in this sentence, it's not particularly important, but in another one, it might. And also, we need a little bit of variety. So here, and often what happens if you work in an organization or a company, it's like the names of things become very, very long and complex. So if we then use an abstract noun like supervision or management control to talk about something that someone is doing, then we again have this kind of long, complicated, what we call a pylon effect. It's like too much information. So we could change these two to supervise and manage. And we will get, the meaning is exactly the same, but it is much more. There's actually an action. We've changed supervision to supervise and management control to, well, management to manage. And we still have to keep these long complex names because that's the name of them. We can't change those. That's the, you know, in the business that we're working or in the organization where we're working, but we can introduce those verbs. And anytime that we see a verb, we see an action, we can visualize it. Like when you all told me what hobbies that you like to do, like dancing or running or something like that, it's like I can visualize that. Whereas supervision or management, I'm just kind of like, that's something happening somewhere. It doesn't really mean anything to me. So this is what we want to do. We want to introduce action into our writing. So we can, let's look at these ones and see if we can change these ones. Let's do the first one together. So participants were in attendance at the conference. How can we, let's see, how could we change that one?
Participants attended the conference.
Absolutely. Participants attended the conference. And it's much more powerful and it's you know it's saying exactly the same thing but in a much more powerful way. So this is your exercise 6. The reason I've done this strange numbering is because I've followed on from the other plain language section that we had in the second part on Tuesday. That's why it's going 5, 6. So exercise 6, what I want you to do is to replace the abstract noun with the verb. So I'm going to pop you back one more time in your breakout rooms. And I will give you, I think, under 5 minutes to do this exercise. I don't think you're going to have too much difficulty with it, although there are some tricky ones. There's one tricky one. I have to keep you awake. I know it's late at night for many of you, so I have to put in a tricky one just so that to keep you on your toes. And I'm going to pop you back in now and give you 5 minutes. Okay, I'll see you back soon. Exercise 6.
Okay, so, hello. Hello.
Hello, we are same different. Okay. Yeah.
Is this the one?
Question.
This is exercise. It's exercise 6. Is that so?
Participants were in attendance at the conference and participant attend.
Hello, can you hear me? We are a bit quiet, so we can't know what we are doing. Am I sharing the right one? Yes?
Yes.
Is this the one or I'm sharing the wrong one?
Oops, sorry. Yeah, this is the first answer, and I'll share the answer in the chat box. It's the first answer. Then I'll share the second answer also. Yeah.
We should first read because we are not getting one of us.
Can you get the answer? I'll share in chat box.
No, we haven't discussed anything.
I'm sharing my answer in chat box, so we can discuss if this is right or wrong, or we have a
Okay.
different view.
Okay, I understand.
Oh my God,
You're
our
almost.
time is out.
Can you read them to us and then we see, because I'm trying to check also on the questions here.
Yeah. First, participants were in attendance at the conference, and the answer is participants attending the conference. An official gave the request urgent consideration, and official urgently consideration the request. Second answer, and third, staff perform an evaluation of the project, and answer is staff evaluate the project.
The third one, you said the citizen renewed their ID.
Yes, citizens carry out the process of ID renewal. Citizens renew their ID through the process.
Is citizen renewed the IDs through the process? Through a process.
Okay. This one was okay, not so hard. Right. So let's see if we can hear from our group one. Naina, you can't share. Nai, can you share?
Actually, we can't share because both of us have my computer cannot be displayed.
Okay.
So we just try somewhere. Maybe she reads and then you see.
Yes. Why don't you just read it to us? That would be great.
Okay. Naina can read because she wrote in her phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or can you put it in the chat, Naina?
Yeah, sure.
Try putting it in the chat.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I just yeah.
It's not coming up yet.
The answer only.
Mm-hmm.
It's not showing up.
Yes,
Where
it
is
is. Yes, it is. I can see
Where
it
is
now.
it?
So officials urgently considered the request. Very good. Staff evaluated the project. Excellent. Technicians analyzed the data. Citizens renew their ID through a process. What about that one? Any different ideas maybe from another group? What about the last one? Because otherwise we're repeating that idea of the process. I know you got rid of carry out, which is good. Okay. I know it's okay because you got renew their
Maybe
ID.
citizens renew their ID.
Exactly. You could just stop there, Nai. Very good.
Yeah.
And Fee, excellent. You could just stop there. Fantastic. Good. Excellent work. Well, you've certainly got the hang of this very quickly. So, and as you can see, this is exactly what we did. And here they are before and after. So you can see them there. And you did very well to avoid the tricky one that I had for you. Good. So The topic but last that I want to deal with today is using personal pronouns, which actually I've noticed that you're all very good about, like talking with we, talking with our, whether you're representing your community or your group or the organization. Yes, Fee.
A question concerning the answers you gave on the last question.
Yes.
On IB process, maybe you can just project it a bit.
Yeah, you can just
Your
delete
answer.
it. Yeah. You can just delete process. Yeah, look, I'll show you. I just deleted it. I just put renew their ID. And that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. You don't need to keep the process. Absolutely. So here, so this is a very handy book. This may seem a little bit much to for some of you. You think like, oh my goodness, the Securities and Exchange Commission, but actually it's a book that's it's a booklet. It's free. You can download it for free. It's I've put the link in the bibliography. Afterwards, I think we'll have time today and I'll give you a little quick look around the bibliography. And this and you'll be able to find it has some very nice before and after examples. And in this book, you will be able to see that they encourage you to write with you and with we and I. Why is that? It's a little bit like when I tell you to visualize who you are writing for. If we write with people in mind, we are always going to be, our writing is going to be so much more user-friendly. We're going to feel so much more comfortable with it. So we can use we, us, our, ours, and you and yours. I mean, we have to be a little bit careful in the type of academic writing that you are doing in your case study. You're not going to put an I in it, but we can definitely put a we referring to an organization. I've given you an example here. This is like very dense, which is very hard to understand. 47 words, and you will remember that our sentence length should be about 25 words, definitely too long. So we could rewrite it like this: to give you confidence that your certified product continues to comply with certification requirements, we from our organization conduct regular product verification audits and review quality control measures. That's still a little bit long. This also helps you when you need to renew the certification. It's like talking to someone about doing something. And it's there was 125 word, that's not so bad, and 10 word sentence. So here you can see the before and after, and it's much shorter and much easier to understand at first reading. And we also did, do you remember? Well, we still got the word certification, but we've got words like helps, we've got conduct, and rather than a review of, those kind of words like we've just seen in changing them into verbs. So why is it different? Well, it's different because it's got the active voice. It's also different because it's talking to people, like personal pronouns. And this is always a good idea to bring people into your writing. And I'm sure you're going to be doing this. I mean, like this sounds like something that is beneficial to someone, but this, you know, we're still not guaranteeing it. Obviously, we're only saying may, that's no guarantee of anything, but it may improve if we add fluoride to your drinking water. And obviously here we still got a passive voice. So normally we prefer the active voice. I mean, here there's a passive one, but we can change this in this stage. Like this table describes the fees and expenses that you may pay if you buy and hold shares of the fund. So these are things that you can do. And these are the person pronoun. As I say, I don't think you're going to be using I in your case studies. I think that would be a mistake. So, but you could do them in sort of, you can do use, and we can certainly do we's. And looking these kind of examples. So here I'm going to give you, this is quite a bit of a tricky text, because what we're bringing in here is all the toolkit of everything, pretty much everything that we have learned so far. So here, what I want you to do, and maybe we might even, you introduce some tabulation. Here, you're going to have to rewrite this using the active voice, bringing maybe a person into it, bringing maybe you rather than talking about something that could happen to someone somewhere. We're talking to a you, and we're also going to be using action verbs and shorter sentences. Okay, so for this activity, I am going to put you into 2 breakout rooms, because I think this is going to be a little bit let me just check that every breakout room has someone who is on a computer when they can write on the computer, not on their cell phone. So recreate 2 rooms. Okay, we've got Daisy, me, Nai, and Nukila in group 1. And in group 2, I have Doman, Fatima, Naina, and Fifian. So tell me, in group 1, who can write something on their computer?
I have
No.
a teacher.
Who's that?
Me, Mon.
Me, you can, so you're going to have to be the one doing that. And then in room 2, it can be a Doman or Fi. Am I correct? Yes? Great. Okay. Then we're sorted. And I'm going to give you 10 whole minutes for this activity, and I will come and visit you, because I think it's going to take you some time and you may find it a little bit complex. Remember, you're talking to someone to give them an instruction on how to do something in a way that's going to be simpler. So start with you as though you were talking to them directly. That's if you ask them that question, then it's going to be a little bit simpler. Okay, off you go.
Can everybody see? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. Yes. Okay. So,
How are you getting on?
so for me, I would say such audits are designed to provide a limited, you see.
Nice. That could be a way. Good. That's a very excellent. Then you've got rid of the negative. Lovely. Very
Yeah.
nice. Yeah,
Such
that's a great start. And then think the person that you're addressing is who?
The company invoices.
I don't think so. I think it's the certificate holder. I think it's the certificate holder. So if rather than saying it is incumbent upon the certificate holder, you could say you. And if I say if something is incumbent, what am I saying?
Mandatory.
Exactly. So you must. You have a good legal mind, Fee. You should be training to be a lawyer. You must. So that's where you're going to start. You must do da, 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 and maybe make a nice list for us. Okay, great. If you need me, you can send me a message, but I'm going to leave to check up on the other group. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, can we say that again? The first one.
Such audits are designed to provide yes, to provide an exhaustive check of the product and no, wait, to provide a limited, sorry, I'm sorry. We are leaving the negative part. Are designed to provide a limited and largely blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
A limited
and largely visual review. Against the current technical specification. Against the current technical specifications.
and then
And then
The certificate holder after that, maybe.
you must ensure that it's almost midnight. My brain is switching off. Sorry. Is it? You must ensure that the product remains
limited in
product remain
sorry. You must ensure that the product remains unchanged. Wait, let's read that part. It is encouraged upon the certificate holder to ensure that the product remains unchanged and to seek formal application if
and applying
unchanged, full stop. Okay. Full stop. Then seek formal full stop. Then you say then seek formal application. Okay, I hope someone is not coding.
then apply for modification or addition if
yes, just write full
then
stop.
apply if there is need to then make an application. I know we don't use make, no? Then apply if there is need to modify or add. You like that?
Wait, to seek formal application. Wait, to seek formal application, if a modification or additions. Yeah, you can just say formally apply if a modification or addition is required.
No?
Okay. If there is need to add or modify, okay, if there is need to add or modify, okay. Then apply if there is need to modify and add. Okay. Yeah, to modify or add. Then apply if there is need to modify or add. You must ensure that the product remains unchanged. Then apply if you yeah, okay. Then we go on. The annual renewal fee for each certificate that the company invests for, at the start of which financially includes an amount for a routine product verification audit.
And the company invoice an annual renewal fee.
Then
Say it again. The company.
Annual renewal fee for each certificate at the belonging of the financial year.
Sorry, I didn't get it.
Modifier, the company invoices an annual
the annual
renewal fee for each.
Let's see. The company invoices.
For each certificate at the beginning.
For each
certificate at the beginning of the financial year.
Okay. How about the routine product verification?
Yeah.
In last, I'll add
verification.
Yeah, I'll add
Okay.
financial year, comma. Then which includes an amount for which.
Perfect.
Which, yeah,
The
includes
an
amount for a
routine product verification.
Yeah, routine product verification audit.
Product
verification audit.
Yay!
Audit. Yeah?
Yes, yes. Still, it's okay.
Yeah, maybe we have done.
Who wants to read it? Still looks so long.
Dom.
Yeah?
I'm like, you must ensure that the product, you see that then apply, then, is it necessary in that statement?
This one?
Yes, you can say formally apply, delete.
Then?
No, remove then, and then we see whether it's making sense.
Yeah.
When we say formally apply, if there is need to modify or add, what do you think?
Modify or add. Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
Yeah, we finished.
Can you share my answer in the chat box? Maybe it's a quite. Yeah, just for sharing. Can you share the answer? Can you see the answer?
Oh, you mean for to share?
In a chat box.
Okay. So I'll copy, no?
But yeah.
Control C.
Also, we put ours.
do I go? I need, there. Okay. Sorry, my mind is really there.
It's a
You
midnight in
highlight
your
all of
place.
it.
Okay. Can you see it? There? Can you see it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. Maybe we done.
Yes, we are done.
Okay.
Finished.
Which country are you from?
Me,
Yeah.
I'm from the Philippines.
Philippines.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a midnight there.
Yes, it is. Almost 15 minutes.
Yeah. I'm from Nepal and it's a 9:30 p.m.
Oh, still early, yeah?
Yeah.
Which part of Nepal?
I'm from
Forgotten.
Kathmandu.
Oh, wow.
So, did you manage to finish?
Yes.
Well done. That's great. Excellent. Good. Good. It was quite a challenging bit. It's the most challenging thing I've given you to do so far, isn't it? But it's also good to know that you can um uh, uh rise to those challenges as well. Okay, so let's hear from group one first. We have Daisy, me, Nai, and Nukila in group one. Who's sharing there? Who's going to share? Me. Super. Lovely.
Yes, yes, yes. We need
Um,
one friend,
I
please.
just designed, or maybe just a design to be limited and largely okay. Okay, but maybe if you say limited, you don't need to add the bit about the exhaustive. Okay, and then you must, as because we're talking to the certificate holder, ensure the product remains unchanged and seek a formal application if a modification or addition is required. Not sure about that.
Mean, where is the last sentence?
The last sentence my friend was share, teacher.
Okay, let's see.
I should put in here. Hello.
Okay.
Can you
You-
read out the sentence?
you need to stop sharing so that she can
Oh,
share.
thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Hello.
Yeah. Which of your colleagues is going to share it?
I think she can only read. She have
Okay,
no
just read
paper.
it to us
Yeah,
then.
just
Just read.
Oh, what is the last sentence? Can you read out, friend?
Who's going to read it? Nai or Nukila?
Yeah, it is me, but I don't see where I wrote here. So
Ah,
yeah. I wrote somewhere.
okay. All right, don't worry then. Okay, so let's go to group 2. It's okay because we're going to get their input as well. Thank you very much, group 1. And group 2 was Doman. Who's sharing in group 2? Doman, thank you. Okay, such audits are designed to provide a limited and largely visual view. Okay, you must ensure, very nice, that the product remains unchanged. Formally apply, good. You're speaking directly to your reader. If there is need to modify or add anything, good. And then you're talking about the company invoices an annual renewal fee for each certificate at the beginning of the financial year. Okay, seems pretty good. Excellent. Well, very good work. Let me show you. Okay, Doman, if you jump out, then I will show you what I have. And which obviously is going to be slightly different. One thing I don't think has really come up in our conversation, but the way we write, I mean, there are some things that are grammar that are correct or incorrect, but most of what we write also expresses a lot our personality. Everyone is going to write something in a different way, always. And that's a good thing, not a bad thing. And so, there's always going to be different ways of doing things, which is why both groups had quite different approaches. Let me show you what I've got. So I started with our audits. So as it were the company, and then talking about you as the certificate holder, you must always ensure, and then going back to our annual fee, and then we invoice this at the start of every financial year. And let me put them side by side. You see, it's much shorter. The fact that we've included people in it. I'll just read it to you again. Our audits do not check the product exhaustively. I like your limited. I thought both of you chose limited. I thought that was really nice. But do review the product visually against its technical specifications. You must always ensure that the product does not change and formally apply for certification if it does. Our annual renewal fee for each certificate covers the cost of a routine audit. We invoice this at the start of each financial year. So, so that's all those points. So this is great that you've been able to bring all these different points, getting rid of the negative, bringing people into your writing, using the active voice, all those you've been able to bring them in all together, which is a very good sign that you're also going to be able to do this in your case studies. So the last point I want to address today is something that we call logical structure. And looking at logical structure, what is it about logical structure? When someone tells us something, when they're kind of like all over the place, it's sometimes very hard to understand. But if someone tells us something in a calm, logical way, we can understand. So I'm just going to show you an example, which is with an email, not a case study, because obviously a case study, but I do have an example from a case study to show you. So this is like a routine kind of email that you might get at work. It's like you're working for a company and somebody from health and safety is coming to visit tomorrow. So you get this email, it says, tomorrow we will have the pleasure of welcoming Ms. Bianchetti from Houston Health and Safety Department, who is a visitor to our company. She will be making an inspection, which is crucial for the company's quality category. It's therefore very important to make a good impression, and all the staff in your department should know about her visit and be as helpful as possible. They should greet her by name, answer any questions she asks, explain procedures, etc. She'll be looking around the company from about 12 after her meeting with me. I would like to make sure that there is someone present in every section over the lunch period in case she has any questions. Thank you for your cooperation in this matter. So let's imagine that you're at work and you get this email. If you get this email, what's your first reaction? What do you think? Fee? What's your first reaction? Are you
To me,
like,
no, I do not like it. It's too bulky.
it's too bulky, it's too long,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yes.
Do you remember that acronym I taught you on Tuesday? The TLDR?
Yes.
It's a bit TLDR. And also it's like, is it really necessary? I mean, why is it such a big deal that she's coming? I mean, okay, I need to kind of know the importance. I don't really know whether this is important or not, do I? It's like not very clear. But the main problem, absolutely, you've hit the nail on the head, is that it's just too long, isn't it? It's too long and there's a bit too much information in there, isn't there? And it's not very clear. And you have to kind of like, do you have a clear idea of what it is that you have to do? Not really. We would probably have to read it again. But it's not rude, is it? It's not like a rude email, is it? No. Okay, so what about if we were to get this one instead? So here, this one says, Ms. Bianchetti of Houston Health and Safety Department will be inspecting the company tomorrow from about 12. It's important to make a good impression. Actually, there, I think more than make a good impression. I mean, it's like, it's important to pass the inspection. I mean, actually, I think we need that highlighted a bit higher. Please inform all the staff, remind them to greet Ms. Bianchetti by name and take time to answer her questions. Arrange lunch breaks so there's always someone there. And then it ends with, thank you for your part in making our company a safer place to work. Now, if you were to receive this email, what kind of reaction would you have?
In order.
It's nice and ordered, isn't it? It's like the takeaway. It's like we immediately remember when anytime we work with bullets, it jumps off the screen, doesn't it? It's like, I know what I have to do. I don't even have to reread it. And so it makes it much, much clearer. Is it rude? Would anyone find it rude? No, it's not rude, is it? No. How does it look how it ends? The first one, I will go back. It says, thank you for your cooperation in this matter. There, it's like, do I have a choice? No, I'm kind of like, I have to do this, don't I? It's kind of like, I know I have to do this. Whereas here, thank you for your part in making our company a safer place to work. How does that make me feel?
Considered.
Considered. I'm an important part of this, aren't I? I've been taken into account. Absolutely. So it's like a motivational email, isn't it? It's going to make me feel, well, I can do that. I need to be my role here is important. So the only things I would like to highlight is that this visit is not, it's like, I wouldn't even read that email if it popped into my inbox tomorrow. But visit tomorrow? I mean, how important is that? That's not very important. It's like, I need something like, inspection tomorrow or inspection that we need to pass or something like that. I think that information needs to be highlighted more clearly. So let's look at the structure of this email, which is what I want to focus on you. So here we have the before and after, and here we have the structure. It starts with the situation. The situation was the the health and safety inspector is coming, and we've got to pass that inspection. And with those 3 bullets, these are the things you need to do, and then the motivation. So we have the situation. This is what's happening. Then we have the objective, and the objective of problem is kind of it is important to make a good impression. And we said we could possibly change that. It's important to pass the inspection. And please do all these 1, 2, 3, and then this closing motivational comment. So here we have this very clear structure, which I'm sure all of you have heard of SOS. You all know what SOS means. But this is a new way of applying an SOS structure. And this can be super useful to apply, probably not to any situation, but often in a long, complex email. And it can be a useful way of structuring maybe like a paragraph. So what I wanted to show you is, for example, this was from one of the case studies that from a couple of years ago. And this is, it's like a little bit, this one was super clear. Like from this statement, it's clearly understood that priority is not given to education for the girl child in the first place. Though the statement became so debatable, and many argue that they're ready to send their children to school if the means is available. I think it might have been a bit clearer to have like on the one hand or on the other here. In all the communities visited, the majority of the participants who are internally displaced persons. Many of them are under deplorable conditions and express the wish for training or income generating activities in order to have some money to enable them to start a new life since their properties were destroyed or looted. They can also use the money to support husbands in sending their children to higher education. So this was like very, very logical. This is the situation, the big picture, and then it goes into the detail. And then this is what they would do if they were, if they had the money to be able to raise this. So I thought this was a very good example of logical structure. But this one, the next one, has a few issues. Because this next one is kind of like showing, it's also like showing important things, but it's kind of, it's sort of all over the place. The industrial effluents disposed of the rivers affects the aquatic animals that is increasing the volume of toxicity in water. This leads to the death of aquatic animals. Earlier, there used to be fish in the nearby river, but in the current days, it's rarely found. And so it's like, we're not sure what the logical cause effect is. During maintenance of the factory, the wastes are much disposed into the river. It has a bad odor, making it difficult for the livestock to drink from it. Additionally, the weather pattern is so unpredictable, unlike before when it used to rain in the month of April. Unlike nowadays, it's so predictable. So I've made a suggested rewrite like this, using the logical structure. In the past, when rains were regular and plentiful, many fish were found in the river. So that's like the situation as it was. Today, we have more than one problem. We have the lack of rain, and the problems are compounded, that's like emphasized, by local industries discharging waste products into the river. So today, not only do we no longer have plentiful rain, but now we have the industry. And then this is the effect that this is having. So the low water levels are even more toxic, and such fish that remain will soon die. So do you see what we've done here? We've made like our logical, we've rewritten the order. So maybe this would be like a good first draft, a good like first write, but then we need to refine it to get something that is following a more logical structure. Okay. There is one more exercise which I'm going to leave up to you to do. So I've left you 2 exercises that you're welcome to post on the campus for me, but I'm more interested in you focusing on task 1, which is something that will contribute towards your evaluation. which is up on the campus. It's been posted by Minerva, who's the campus coordinator. So I'm going to see you again next Tuesday for the last time. I wish you all a very good weekend. And remember that we will meet in the main Zoom first for the 10-minute blessing before we start our class. Okay? So I will see you all then, and we'll go into... Bye-bye.
Bye.
Teacher, bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.